So, Mahatma Gandhi thought there must be a moment in which Hindus and Muslims should be brought together. And he felt that to take up this thing, we must take up the Khilafat issue. What was Khilafat issue? The First World War had ended with the defeat of Ottoman Turkey, and there was rumors that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor, the spiritual head of Islamic world. So Muslims were also thinking that we must start a movement against those people, against Europeans, so that they would not impose harsh treaties on Khalifa. So Mahatma Gandhi thought that this is an opportunity in which he can help Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, who started Khilafat movement, and in that, with that movement only, he can launch a nationwide movement for bringing Hindus and Muslims under one umbrella. At the Calcutta session of the Congress in September 1920, it is very important. Calcutta session of Congress in September 1920. All the sessions of the Congress that are being mentioned in this chapter are very important. They are important for your map work. He convinced other leaders of the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support of Khilafat as well as for Swaraj. So this was the main motive of Mahatma Gandhi, to start a movement, to start a non-cooperation movement in support of Khilafat movement and for Swaraj. Khilafat movement was started by two Muslim brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Now, why non-cooperation? So why non-cooperation? Basically, what is the meaning of non-cooperation? The thing is that the government is running all the rules, regulations, police is working, everything is how everything is going on, because people are cooperating with them, people are listening to them. So if we will not cooperate with Britishers, how they are going to run the country? That's why non-cooperation movement was necessary. In his famous book Hind Swaraj, so this is also one more question. Hind Swaraj, who is the author of Hind Swaraj? That is Mahatma Gandhi. He declared that British rule was established in India with the cooperation of Indians. So if Indians are not going to cooperate, then how British government is going to run? Then how could non-cooperation become a movement? So how is it possible that this thinking, this thought of non-cooperation, how to make it a movement? Gandhiji proposed that the movement should unfold in stages. That means this movement should come in stages. Steps must be there. So what was the first step? It should begin with the surrender of titles that the government awarded. So government in that time, British government awarded many titles to many people, many renowned people in India. So first thing what they did, they surrendered the titles to the government that once government has awarded them. Now second thing, boycott of civil services, army, police, courts, legislature, council, school and foreign goods. To boycott them. What is the meaning of boycott? Here it is written, the refusal to deal and associate with people. Means no need to associate with schools, no need to go to schools. No need to go to school means that people were boycotting those schools that were British government aided, that were aided by British government or government schools. And no need to attend civil service exam, police, courts, leave those jobs. Then in case the government used repression, a full civil disobedience campaign would be launched. So in case government is going to repress people, then full civil disobedience campaign would be launched. Now through the summer of 1920, Mahatma Gandhi and Shaukat Ali toured extensively, mobilizing popular support for the movement. Why they were touring? Mahatma Gandhi and Shaukat Ali, they were touring so that they could aware more and more people for this purpose. Many within the Congress were, however, concerned about the proposals. They were reluctant to boycott the council elections. So, within the Congress, it was not clear. It was not clear. Many people were against these boycott. They don't want to boycott a council elections that were to be scheduled for November 20, because they thought that this movement is going to be popular violence. And afterwards they were thinking that we must attend council elections so that from within the government they can bring a change. Now finally finally at the Congress session at Nagpur in December 20, a compromise was worked out and the non-cooperation program was adopted. So those members of Congress, those who were against the boycott, they also compromised with this idea and they adopted non-cooperation program. How did the movement unfold? Who participated in it? How did different social groups conceive of the idea of non-cooperation? In the further paragraphs of this chapter, we are going to get the answer of these questions. You can see in this picture also, you can see the boycott of foreign clothes, July 1922. Foreign cloth was seen as the symbol of Western economy and cultural domination. These pictures are very important. When you are going through the chapter, you must go through the pictures also, because in your examination, 20 marks questions will be 1 mark question, and in those questions, you will get interpretation of the picture also from history and democratic politics. So go through the pictures as well. Different strands within the movement. Now we are going to get the answers of those questions that we have read in the last page and in last lines. The non-cooperation Khilafat movement began in January 1921. Various social groups participated in this movement, each with its own specific aspiration. What is the meaning of that? Different social groups participated in that, but there was not a single aim for all of them. Swaraj was not for all of them. That means, what does that mean? They were calling it Swaraj, but the meaning of Swaraj was quite different for every social group. For some people, Swaraj means relaxation in taxation. For some people, Swaraj means that those land will be given back to them. These kind of things were there. So let us study how the movement unfolded in the towns. The movement in the towns. The movement started with middle class participation in the cities. So middle class people participated in the movement in the cities. Thousands of students left government controlled school. Here again also I am pointing, government controlled schools were being left by the students. These were government controlled schools and colleges. Headmasters and teachers resigned and lawyers gave up their legal practices. So now people had started non-cooperating with the government. The council elections were boycotted in most provinces except Madras, where the Justice Party, the party of the non-Brahmins, felt that entering the council was one way of gaining some power, something that usually only Brahmins had access to. So here we can see that exception was there. The effects of non-cooperation on the economic front were more dramatic. Means economy was much more affected by this non-cooperation movement. Foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shop picketed, and picketed means they were closed. And foreign cloth burnt in huge bonfires. The import of foreign cloth halved between 1921 and 1922. Its value dropping from 102 crore to 57 crore. Means this non-cooperation movement was effective. You can see its effect in these datas. In many places, merchant and traders refused to trade in foreign goods or finance foreign trade because there wasn't any profit in that. People were boycotting those things. As the boycott movement spread and people began discarding imported clothes and wearing only Indian ones, production of Indian textile mills and handlooms went up. So, because of these boycott movements of foreign goods, Indian textile industry it went up. So this is all about your chapter for today. You are supposed to revise this chapter. We will continue it afterwards in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.